Hello. This video will show the night, or I guess early morning of the 10th when Kenneka was discovered, and kind of go through the day. The early morning, I guess, is a better phrasing. Where Teresa shows up, and then all the way until she leaves. Okay, it's not really a great subject matter. It's kind of depressing, but there's a lot of questions people have about that, and I think it also sheds some light on a few things. So let's just get started. All right, so this is when the assistant food and beverage manager, he walks around there because he's not sure if maybe she's on the ground on the other side of that pillar there. So then he opens up the freezer, and you can tell, I think he went in there in 24:11. He comes back out 6 seconds later, so, there's almost no chance in hell that he unlocked 2 doors in 6 seconds, right? But he also states in the narratives that he has a flashlight, a flashlight on his keychain, and that's what he used to look into the freezer. Now, when he leaves the upper kitchen, he brings the officer back with him. And as you notice, the officer will also use a police-issued flashlight. You can see it right now on the wall.
301 here. Oh, fuck. 301, everything 10-4? Negative. I have that subject in the kitchen in a freezer. She is frozen solid. 10-4, 600?
600 copies. Make notifications. Rosemont 601, you copy?
Jerry, what kitchen are you in? I'm in the rear by the dock area, by the garbage.
Okay, so I think that's the actual guy that made the radio call in, and as you can see, they found her, and basically that's about it. Other officers start showing up, and then I skip past a lot of that because that's not what this video is about. I think I might even just scroll through it. Okay, so here's where a larger group coming in with that same officer in the front. There was a large police presence at the hotel already, so they were already looking around all over the place. So right there, whenever you see it fade to black like that, it skips a large chunk of time. So now we're already about an hour later at 1:16, and this is the food and beverage manager here, and I think he secures a room here because they know that Miss Jenkins or Teresa Martin actually, will be informed of the death of her child in this room right here. Okay, so I just noticed a glitch on my end because I edited it poorly. So you're gonna call that out, that little right there. So that's just because I didn't edit when I put together the clips. I didn't do it right. All right, so it has nothing to do with. You can even look at the time, okay? Because I don't want to start over again. But see up there, 1:17:13, and then 1:16:59. So that happens coming up here in a second. because that was all on the same motion, exe file, and I recorded a little extra. So these two guys will end up showing up there in about, like right now. All right, so no, that wasn't a glitch. All right, so let's see. Okay, so I think this is about when Miss Martin shows up. Pretty soon, anyways. I think that's okay. That's her right there. And they bring her back to the room here. Yeah, and this guy right here, he looks really upset when Teresa runs out, but I don't show that part because I'm tracking Teresa. But he, puts his hands on his head and he looks upset. I mean, they're only in here for a real short amount of time. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Looks like I'm scaled out too large here. Let's see if I can. Make it so you can see the time code right there. Okay. All right, but she's only in there for less than a minute, like 30, maybe even 30 seconds. I mean, it's just really sad right there. So she runs out, and I think she's gone for about 3 hours, actually. She could have came back. I just didn't search for that. I didn't look in between this time. I mean, the video was already getting so long, so I just, when she leaves at around 1:30 there, she comes back around 4:15, and they sort of start prepping her for when they're going to take her back to view Kenneka and sort of what happened back in that room. Okay, so it looks like that's Teresa Martin coming back in again. I know that exact feeling when she ran out. That's exactly how I felt. When my brother passed away, I mentioned that in another video. I just sort of, you have the doctor come out, put his stethoscopes on, the classic look. And then I just ran past him through the double doors, and I found him back there. Okay, so here's when she meets that really tall officer. Sorry, I had to get some Gatorade there. But I'm sure you're fine with that. Probably sick of hearing me talk. So, looks like they just sort of stand out in this hall for a while, actually. Now this guy right here, I think he's the one that actually hands her the watch, the belly ring, and the hair tie, that black hair tie. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can scroll it forward to another significant point in time. Okay, so right there, after talking for quite a bit of time there, like 6-7 minutes, they go back into that room. And they talk for a while. Now let's see. So that's another skip of time. So it was 4:20 right there. 4:20 and 50 seconds. And then I just skipped forward to 4:41 because nothing was really going on right there. I don't know who all the characters are. That could be... I don't remember if that was Kenneka's father or... Actually, I just don't even know. And there's Teresa. They just kind of hang out right there. You can still see her jacket right down there. I mean, it's so shocking for everyone. You know, I feel bad for, you know, the mother and the sister specifically because they actually are going to go back and see her. It's, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I hadn't ran past that doctor. You know, because I would have remembered him. That's always something that I remember, what he looked like on the table. You know. But what was sort of interesting is you could tell that there was nothing there. Like, you know, like there could actually be a soul in everyone. You know, when I touched his hair, it didn't even seem real either. It was really weird. It was a weird moment. So yeah, skip it forward. Now that we're back into the upper kitchen. Now, right now, that the younger of the two funeral home people has the bag with the watch, the belly ring, and the black, you know, I guess it's a hair tie. And this is where they put it down on the table there. And that's where they documented that the funeral home gave it to them. All right. And here's the tall officer again right there. And they're going to take a picture of those items right now. I talk about this in another video that I made. You know, so for about 4 hours they've been processing the crime scene. Okay, and then right here, these are the things that they just took a picture of: the watch, the belly ring, and I actually think the officer right here is the one that took that shot because of the way he's holding his phone. It's in portrait mode, but again, you can just flip images. So the funeral home guy's putting those 3 items back in the bag. You could even count them: 1, 2, 3. And he handed that bag to this guy right here in the dark hair. And now the tall guy and this guy walk out. And we're going to track them as much as we can. They went to the restroom on the way back down that hall, so that there's a little bit of a skip. Okay, so they had taken off the black gloves, put them in a bag. The tall officer is probably out in that little... oh, that's right, he came back. I forgot about that. So right there, you could see the younger guy look back in my analysis video that I made just of this part. He thought that they were already coming in, but they weren't. And here comes the tall guy, is leaving with the same guy that has the watch, the belly button ring, and the hair tie. Now, right after that, they come straight through this dishwasher kitchen. Or it's not a kitchen, but the dishwashing room. Now, this isn't a place that Kenneka ever walked that night. But some people think, oh, well, she had to have, because they went straight from there into that. No, there's other ways to get into that kitchen. Okay, but that dishwasher, when you take a right there, goes right into the meeting hall west, which is that same long hall that ends up, in that room that Teresa and others are in. So they're going to be coming down this way. Now, they actually went to the bathroom first, so it skips some time. The bathrooms are right there. So they're going to come out now. And then I think they're going to get Teresa. And they walk Teresa down there. And I think they seem to stop every once in a while when they're talking to her, and then they continue walking because they want to explain things well. So maybe I can... Oh, here they are right there. And so apparently they haven't handed her the watch and other items yet, because this guy right here, I believe, hands it to her later. I'm not sure why they didn't give it to her while she was in that room. But, I mean, what difference does that make, I guess? See, right there, they've already stopped. Right there. You notice I notice I say already when it's actually already, but I don't know if that's... My mom said that's because we live where we live. Let's see. All right, so here they come. See, they're heading all the way down that long hall, the meeting hall. And here's Teresa and the sister. That guy's explaining things. And you can see, look at that, 504, 35, 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. It's just right there, that door. Now, I think they might have stopped again here, because normally if you're just walking at full speed, you show up right in this room right away. So they stop a few times and explain things, because it doesn't normally take that long at all. But here they come. That door is just right there to the right. At the end of that hall, it goes right into a door that you take a left to come through here. Okay, now there is something interesting here that might explain something I hadn't noticed until just recently. See, they stop her right here. And, oh, I guess the tall guy gives her the bag. Sorry. So that's the bag with the watch, the belly ring, and the hairband, and she puts it in her pocket. Now look at her right here. I think this might be what she was talking about when she said she pointed to a camera above the door. Watch. It's coming up. Now look, see right there? She's pointing right at the camera. And, you know, they know that there's a camera right there. But that isn't one of the cameras that was used to track Kenneka, nor was she ever on this camera. Okay, so they left there, and then they show up in here very quickly. You know, and that's the same direction Kenneka came from, but there's a few different ways to get there from out, you know, from where they came. You know, like, so around noon on the day prior, or not noon, midnight, the security guard is in that dishwasher kitchen, and where he came from was he left the building through the front door and then around the parking lot. I mean, when I say front door, I mean the turnstiles. Then it went around the parking lot and then came back through an employee entrance, which is right back there by that dishwashing room, and then he went through the dishwashing room and then he goes back to the lobby. You know, through down the long hall, etc. Okay, so you might have seen just a second ago, they pointed up to the surveillance camera in this room, and that's how they found her. Now they're showing her, Teresa, the actual cooler and freezer. And, you know, I'm not really sure what they're actually, you know, they're probably just telling her exactly where they found her and etc. Okay. And it looks like they're gonna exit, and that's 26 seconds, 27, 28, 29, 30. You know, they make sure she left, then they're going to start finishing transporting Kenneka to the medical examiner. All right, so, you know, let's check to see how much time that was. So 5:09:28. Oh, okay. I added too much time back in there, so it should have just been about right here, to be honest with you. So 5:09:28 is when they left the upper kitchen, and then 5:29, you know, literally 11 seconds later, they're in this dishwashing area. Okay, and then watch the timing here. I think this will be quicker. So 5:09, let's see, 5:09:55, they get there. 56, 57. See how quick that is? Boom, they're just right there. 3 seconds later, the door to this hallway is right there. Okay, now the officer again stops and explains to her, talks to her for quite a while. They actually all stand so still that the motion sensors quit picking them up. And right there, you know, it skipped about 30 seconds because there isn't enough pixel change for the camera to pick up motion. Okay, and then they head down the meeting hall west. And then her whole family's down here still waiting for her. Family and friends, I would assume. Yeah, it's such a surreal feeling. They're just kind of, you don't really hear what anybody's saying. It's like, what do you do, you know? I mean, and then I think they just leave right here. They actually just leave the building. Here they come. Yeah, so basically that's it right there. Okay, so it kind of just shows the whole, the whole evening and how it transpired. It's not really, it's pretty depressing to be honest with you. But I guess that's it, and until next time, I will talk to you later.